talk to me about Going with Grace. What made you start doing this?
Going with Grace was born out of a really challenging time in my life. I was practicing law and developed a serious depression. I went on a medical leave of absence where I met a woman in Cuba that had uterine cancer, and we talked a lot about her life and her death. And I thought, we're all going to die. Why are we not talking about the fact that we're going to die? And I thought we should be doing a better job societally of preparing people for death. And during that time, I really saw the process and how difficult it is for families who are walking through the end of life. There's not much support. And so from there, I decided to start Going with Grace, which is an end of life planning, training, and support organization to walk people through the end of life.
What are like some of the things that you would prepare someone for about like the medical, you said it differently, but I'm gonna say medical industry, and then, you know, like planning your funeral?
Well, when it comes to medical care, it's important that we spend some time thinking about who we want to make our decisions for us in the event that we can't. Because at some point, if we get sick enough, we're not going to be able to communicate what it is that we want. And that's when people and families fight over what their loved one would have wanted. Would she have wanted to be on a ventilator or CPR? Would she have wanted this? Or let's just talk about it. Let's make it absolutely clear, not only what we want, but who we want to be in charge of those decisions. So that's a really important part of the medical decision making. When it comes to funerals, you know, let's also communicate. What are our wishes? What do we want done with our body? Do we want to be buried? Do we want to be cremated? What do you want done with the ashes? Who should keep them? How long should they keep them? What type of service should we have? Is it in the church? Is it in a park? Do we want sunflowers, peonies? The list of decisions to be made at the end of life are endless, actually. And to me, it's cruel that we leave it up to people that are grieving to make these decisions for the people that they love. People often say, I won't care, I'll be dead anyway. It's like, yeah, but that means that you're leaving the decision to the people that you love that are really, really sad about the fact that you're dying. That's not really fair.
I understand what you do better now. It's like, I get it. I really like it. That is super needed. Yeah. Have you encountered clients who haven't prepared for their death? And then, like, what is that like for you? What is that? What happens then?
Well, often it means we're rushing, we're trying to get a lot of things done, we're trying to place priorities. I got a rushed phone call from somebody whose brother had pancreatic cancer. He'd been sick for about a year and a half, which is quite a long prognosis for the stage of pancreatic cancer that he had. But when she called, she said the doctor said it looked like his death was going to be imminent. He died 3 days after that conversation. At that point, his kids hadn't had a conversation with his kids about the fact that they were dying. The title for the house was in somebody else's name. There was no guardian for the children. His affairs just weren't in order at all. He hadn't made any decisions about what to do with his body or his services. He was estranged from his ex-wife. There was just like a number of things that were up and running, but we didn't have enough time. And so the priority was his children, communicating with them that he was dying, to give them an opportunity to say goodbye to their dad. And so when there isn't much time, we prioritize the practical things. Maybe those can wait, but let's make sure that the death is not traumatic for those that are living.
How do your clients get in touch with you?
They can find me on the internet mostly. Word of mouth is really effective. That's how I've gotten most of my clients. But now the work has spread such that people can find me very easily on the internet when need be.
Well, Alua, I thank you.
My pleasure.
And I really appreciate you and the work that you do, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you. Have a great day.